What are your thoughts on straight men being E&M? What is E&M? Ethically non-monogamous? No. Non-ethical non-monogamy. That's what that is, guys. Just say you want to be in an open relationship. Just say you want to be single and not committed. There's no such thing as ethical non-monogamy. You don't want your time wasted, don't get involved with men that want to do that shit. That's dumb as fuck. Unless that man is like literally paying your bills, which he probably isn't, because I think most ethically non-monogamous men are broke as fuck. Not being surprised by men's behavior. Don't get too invested in what they do, in what they say. I mean, I'm surprised every day, you know, by men and the clownery. I consider it a form of entertainment because I can't relate to their thought pattern. Why do they say the most random shit? Don't ask why, babes. You're never going to get an answer. It's going to be something lame, like they're dumb, they're boring. Don't ask why, guys. It doesn't matter why. You just take what they say and what they do at face value. Does it add value to my life? Yes or no? And then you keep it moving. Don't ask why. You don't understand them, and that's a blessing. You're going to waste your time. Like, you're wasting your time asking yourself, why did you do what? Who cares? Who cares? You don't relate, and that's a good thing. Okay, if you understood exactly what motivated men to be the way that they are, that's not good, okay? Not good for you. So, recognize that they just function differently. Learn about male psychology where you can to protect yourself, but focus on what you get out of your relationships with men in general. Carrot juice, carrot, apple, lemon, turmeric, and coffee. Yeah, like part of decentering men is like not even caring about what they think. Why do they never learn about us? So because they're dumb. They are dumb. These are all silly questions, babes. Your consciousness is like this as a woman, okay? Their consciousness is like this as a man. So how could they learn about you? Their brain is literally not big enough. You're wasting your time wondering why when it comes to men. Like either you educate yourself about the psychology of men or you just forget about them. Best thing we can do is take a page from their book and prioritize ourselves and our lives. Exactly. That's not where those kinds of questions are coming from, you know? Like you need to go and educate yourself and learn and observe, because like the effect of testosterone on the brain, like for men, they're just motivated by sex. Like you're trying to understand them, but all you need to understand is that you don't understand them, and that's a good thing. How do they benefit you? How can you ensure that you're getting something out of it? And if that's not evident to you, leave. Move away. Okay? Do they even understand themselves? Exactly! What difference would it make if you understood him? If he could understand himself, he would communicate that. And he's obviously not. That's why you got question marks all the time. Take that as your sign. Is it delusional to crush on a guy at work who's 39? I'm about to turn 25. Just enjoy the crush, babe. Just because you have a crush doesn't mean anything has to happen. The more out of reach they are, the better it is, because it keeps you entertained. And then you can focus on living your life and you won't actually get your time wasted by a loser. Advice on how to improve self-esteem. I have so much content about that, babe. Read The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem by Nathaniel Branden. Get a hobby. Learn to sit in your uncomfortable feelings. Learn to walk away from people and situations that don't make you feel good, make you feel insecure. Like if you are scrolling through your social media and you feel insecure when you're online, unfollow all those accounts. Ask yourself, what do I actually like and how can I do more of that? I'm confused about straight relationships where they hate each other. Why? Because people think that they're being productive. People confuse. Something I've been thinking about recently, and I'm trying to figure out how to communicate it, is like when you lack self-awareness, you will misidentify what certain feelings mean and you'll play yourself, okay? So sometimes people will think that anxiety is actually like I'm being productive while I'm feeling anxious. You know, like I used to have that problem when I was younger. I used to think that everything had to be stressful in order to feel like I was achieving something. And then I got a life and like learned to emotionally regulate. And I was like, oh, I can actually just like enjoy life and enjoy things that are, even when they're difficult, and it doesn't have to be stressful, and I'm still like getting shit done, you know? And a lot of people do that in their relationships, or they think that just feeling attracted to someone is in and of itself love, but that's not what love is. You need to give yourself positive affirmations as well, okay? You can't wait for other people to give you a compliment to feel good about yourself. You need to learn to compliment yourself every day. If I learn about his actual personality, the crush will most likely be shattered, yes. Also very real. I would look up limerence. Yeah, I have a subscriber-only episode on limerence on my podcast. You need to learn to accept and appreciate yourself. When you are in a negative state, negative self-talk, you don't just go from I hate myself to I love myself. You go from I hate myself, but you know what? I'm not so bad. I hate these things about myself, but I appreciate these things about myself. You know what? I actually radically accept myself for who I am, for my flaws, and for the things that I like, and I'm going to work towards improving the things that I don't like. Next level. Okay? Radical acceptance. And then, I like this thing about myself. I like this other thing about myself. I like all these things about myself. I'm proud of myself for this. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. And then slowly, most negative self-talk is mostly coming from ghost words from someone else. Yeah. Or just like a misinterpretation of an interaction you had with someone or how you're perceived. It doesn't really matter where it comes from. You just need to figure out how to repair. Self-trust is hard after narcissistic abuse from a partner or parent or anyone. Bro, we're all literally abused by society. The messaging is unhinged. Have self-compassion. Be patient. But be consistent and be determined. That's the only way. How to know if you're overextending yourself to fix things when your efforts are not being reciprocated? Everything that's worth having in life is probably going to require some effort. Okay, it's probably going to be hard. So for me, I personally don't dwell on like how difficult it is to do or not do something if the ultimate goal is for me to live a better life, is for me to have a better experience of life, okay? Something being difficult is not an excuse, in my opinion, or it's not something that you want to dwell on for too long because it will hinder you being able to take action. Think about how hard something is all the time and then you subconsciously stop yourself from taking action. So something being difficult is kind of like irrelevant to me because, you know, it's also difficult to stay sad. It's difficult to hate your life. It's difficult to hate yourself. So choose a type of difficult that's actually gonna result in better outcomes for your life. It's a different kind of difficult, but in my opinion, it's one that's definitely worth pursuing more than just thinking that shit's hard and therefore I shouldn't. Can't people take that approach to wanting something that's not good for them just because subconsciously they're trying to make it work? Yeah. But like, you need to develop self-awareness around your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and your outcomes. If you think you want to make it work with a partner, a parent, or a friend, and then you take action in trying to do that, and then the outcome is not what you wanted, okay, now you need to revise. Should I change my approach? Should I let go? Is my effort being reciprocated? Am I being heard? Yes or no? Like, you can't just think, oh, let me do this thing and then everything is going to be okay. Like, that's just not how life works. So you need to let go of this like naive or like stunted, immature way of thinking that's like 1 + 1 = 2. Like, that's just not how life actually works. Sometimes 1 + 1 can = 3. You never know. Leave space for the things that you can't predict and that you can't plan for, because that's what is going to allow you to be like, okay, how can I revise my approach? How can I reconsider what's actually important to me? Like, life is trial and error. It's not, I'm here and this is what's going to happen and this is what, and that's it. You know, that's the whole point. You need to change your perspective. You know, sometimes what you expect or what you've been told is not being reflected in reality. And part of growing up is being like, okay, well, let me figure out what else I'm going to do. What else can I do that's going to fulfill me? What other parts of my life can I be grateful for? Instead of fixating on this one thing, working out, this thing that's completely outside of my control, working out and being the source of my happiness. What am I grateful for now? What can I work towards that gives me a sense of fulfillment, that doesn't rely on another person and their approval and their validation? My phone died. Agree on the non-ethical monogamy. So interesting. You smile, beautiful, lovely, and appreciated. Thank you. Your Spotify, I beg. Everything is at Amber Killer, okay? On everything. Everything that I'm on, it's at Amber Killer. And this Spotify playlist is called Autumn Breeze Winter Teas. Guys, ethical there's nothing... What the fuck is ethics anyway, you know? Most people do not live, act, or think in an ethical way. Ethics is just some made-up framework that's used to control people, okay? You can educate yourself about ethics, but you can't think that just because you know about ethics that other people give a fuck. Other people are going to behave as such, okay? You think men know what ethics is? Men can barely even be in a ethically monogamous relationship, and they want to make an ethically non-monogamous relationship? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? You're not ethical in any other part of your life, and you think you can do ethical non-monogamy? Like, miss me. Please. Like, actually, shut the fuck up. Don't let men waste your time, okay? That shit is embarrassing. Guys, everything I'm getting pushed on Taobao is leopard print. Honestly, I bet it was a woman that came up with ethical non-monogamy as well, because she was like trying to impress a guy and trying to make herself feel better about the fact that her boyfriend was cheating on her. My roomies practice non-monogamy. Their relationship is one of the most beautiful and respectful. Honestly, love that for them. But who has the time? I don't even have time for one person, let alone like 3. I'm seeing when they're very, very honest about when they feel a certain type of way and respect. I just don't have time for that. They respect each other's boundaries. They're also queer. I just don't have time. I don't want to sit and talk about my feelings like that. It's boring. It's always just one person who doesn't want to commit. Yeah. They're very much open to a lot of work. Like, think about how much shit you could do instead of sitting around and being like, so how do you feel today about me fucking someone else? This is how I feel about you fucking someone else. Huh? Everyone is entitled to their own experience of life. That's just one that I'm personally not interested in. Like, to me, the whole point of being in a relationship is not having to date anymore. Like, not have to, like, date other people looking for a partner. Like, if I found someone that I actually wanted to commit to and would take me off the market, why would I go back to the market? The market sucks. It makes no sense to me. But you know what? If they're happy, I'm happy for them. I actually couldn't think of anything worse. Like, literally just thinking about having this conversation with someone makes me want to throw up. I'd be like, you want to be ethically non-monogamous? Go over there. Get out of my life. Bye. Especially if you start dating and you go straight to ethical non-monogamy a couple months in. Yeah. One person just wants to have their cake and eat it too, and is trying to get the other person on board. A lot of problems with non-monogamy is that's not what people want. Yeah. I'm sure there are some people where it, like, works for them and, like, they live their life and they have a partner that is into the same thing. But I just think most of the time that's really not the case. Like, how do you deal with spiraling and ruminating thoughts? So for this kind of thing, I always emphasize that it's about lifestyle changes and having habits and grounding habits in your life so that it's not about stopping the thoughts, it's about preventing the intensity, okay? So I always talk about meditation, about journaling, having some kind of physical activity in your life, also minimizing or having boundaries around social media. So even though I'm online, I have 1 day a week, every week, where I'm off TikTok and off Instagram. That's Monday, okay? Today's Tuesday, so I'm back on the internet. I don't have my phone. I don't look at my phone first thing in the morning. I don't have my phone in my bedroom. I don't scroll before bed. I might scroll on the couch and then leave my phone on the couch and then go to sleep or read, but I have boundaries around the exposure to content that I allow. So because of those things, like, I don't have as intense, like, doom spirals anymore. So it's not about you just keep living your life and then you go into a doom spiral and then you figure out a way to stop it. You actually have to change your lifestyle and change your habits so that the frequency of doom spirals and the intensity of doom spirals is minimized. You have to bring awareness to yourself and the thoughts and the thinker. Okay, and that's not something that you do if you're regularly having doom spirals and overthinking. Then there are adjustments that you can make in your life to help you to like minimize, prevent. Prevention is better than cure. Okay. But if I'm like thinking really intensely about something, I'll just open up a note in my phone and then dump all my thoughts in that. Recognizing that your thoughts are just thoughts. It's up to you to decide what you do and don't act on, okay? And maybe you don't like the thoughts that you're having. Get rid of them. Thought dump them out in a journal. Move on with your day. Allow space for new thoughts to enter. Or insert thoughts. Script out positive thoughts. Thought distortions. Thought distortions. Mm-hmm. Let's look it up together. Thought distortions are also known as cognitive distortions, are irrational or exaggerated thought patterns that can cause people to perceive reality inaccurately. E.g., all or nothing thinking, viewing things in extremes such as all good or all bad, labeling, classifying oneself in a negative way, discounting the positive, reducing positive events to luck or unimportant, mental filtering, focusing on negative events or thoughts, emotional reasoning, believing that what you feel must be inherently true, should statements, using should, ought, or must statements to set unrealistic expectations. Yeah, my therapist told me that. There's no such thing as should, because if you wanted to, you could wake up and just piss on your bed, so. Oh my god! Hi, Kaya. Learning about these was super helpful because I could start recognizing. Personalization, taking responsibility for events outside of your control. Jumping to conclusions, expecting that something bad is going to happen. Cognitive distortions can reinforce negative beliefs, perceptions, and behaviors, exacerbate the symptoms of many mental illnesses like anxiety, depression, borderline personality disorder, and PTSD. Fuel negative emotions, anxiety disorders, and detrimental thinking styles be so innate to people's thinking patterns that they are imperceptible. Yes. Just remember that, like, just because you're thinking one way now doesn't mean you can't change it, you know? I think the best way to overcome this type of thinking, though, is you need discipline in your life, okay? And you need discipline that you are partaking in service of living your best life. We're talking about thought distortions because I was asked about how to overcome overthinking and ruminating. And I always think that it's a lifestyle change first, not like trying to will yourself into thinking better, you know? I also think positive affirmations and positive scripting is really, really important. You have to replace your negative thoughts with positive ones. You have to imagine your brain, your subconscious is like a garden, okay? If you are suffering from a lot of thought distortions, then visualize that your garden is like the soil hasn't been looked after. It's a desert. The plants are struggling, okay? That's why it's like so difficult for you to imagine like positive things, okay? So then you start off with that visualization and then you think, okay, firstly, I accept my garden as it is, okay? I have to acknowledge that this is the current state. I'm not going to pretend that it's blooming and that we're in spring and that we're slaying if I'm looking around and the dirt is dry, the plants are dead, okay? You need to accept it as it is. You know what? I'm grateful that I even have the garden here. I'm grateful that we've made attempts to grow things. And now we're going to be more intentional with how we grow things, okay? So then you start thinking about developing an awareness of your thoughts. What are you planting? Okay, you want to rework the soil, practicing meditation, practicing journaling, practicing thought dumping, practicing positive scripting. You've been in a negative headspace and you constantly reaffirm negative thoughts. That's why the garden is in this state. Okay, so slowly you practice gratitude for the things that you have, and then you also start scripting positive things for yourself. This is my painting that I did last year. This is the painting that I'm working on. It's blank. Like, you can't just think that you're going to think your way out of this. You actually have to do things, and you have to rework and shift the way that you allocate your energy and your thoughts. But positive affirmations is such a radical practice. I was always so skeptical before, and then I hit my mental emotional rock bottom in 2020, and I was like, fuck it, I'll do anything at this stage. And now I feel like I am a completely different person to who I was 4 years ago, because I became intentional about speaking to myself positively. And if I can't speak to myself positively, neutral is good enough, okay? I like how the pink is so vibrant, doesn't take over the whole canvas. Thank you. Okay, let's see what Harvard Health has to say about cognitive distortions. Write it down, babe. Get a pen and paper and take notes. Like, you are passive in the pursuit of wanting better for yourself, okay? You need to be active. That's the thing that separates people that enjoy their life and are intentional about it and people that aren't, okay? You actually have to do. Like, imagine your habits form your personality, okay? And when you think, how do I stop this? How do I stop negative thought patterns? How do I stop that? But you're not actually willing to make any changes in your life, shit is just going to stay the same. You're just going to continue to operate on a subconscious loop, and then you're imagining that you're making progress because you're thinking, but you're not doing anything. Okay, so you have to do. And I say this with love, because I would be doing you no favors if I just told you, yeah, when you have a negative thought, just like tell yourself that you're not that sad. Okay, common skills and practices. Focus on gratitude for what is going well in my life and for those around me. Mindfulness and presence in the moment. Engaging in healthy habits, exercise, good nutrition, and ideally sleep. That's the hardest one for me. Connection with others, open and honest communication, and empathy, including self-empathy. Like, unfortunately, there is no secret, guys. Getting enough sleep, drinking lots of water, having a healthy diet, physical activity, all of those things, like, are what it takes to live a good life. You know, it's no, like, let me just think about this thing for a really long time and then I'm going to get what I want. Like, it's not how it works. Because, not to make excuses, how do I get motivation or energy to do when I feel helpless? Well, you just feel helpless. It doesn't mean you are. Okay, your feelings are not entirely representative of reality. You need to practice meditation, please. You're obviously not practicing it. That's why you keep asking me the same question. Go do that first. I'm reading Harvard Health Publishing, How to Recognize and Tame Your Cognitive Distortions. Meditating is like 5 minutes. Sit with your eyes closed, observe your thoughts, and slowly increase the time. Insert that one habit into your life, okay? For a month, get a habit tracker like this. Okay. Write the month. The only habit you have to track between now and the end of the year is a 10-minute meditation every day, okay? And once you've done that, we'll move on to step 2. There is no cure though. Like, these practices are supposed to help you to better respond to life, because it's not like, oh, you achieve this one thing and then everything is smooth sailing from then on. Okay, it's normal for us to want to think that and to want to believe that, but that's never the case. You are not going to be shielded from challenge or harm forever. Okay, you are actually, like, the more shit that you want to do, the more you want to achieve, the more shit you're going to have to deal with. Okay, because people that are lazy, they achieve nothing because they are, like, rooted, everything is clouded with fear, guilt or shame or whatever, and the inability to overcome it is what stops them from having fun. Okay, so an integral part of being hot and having fun is being able to eat shit, but you pick the flavor of shit you're willing to eat because you know what your end goal is. Okay, you need to completely change the way that you think about your experience. I was like, do you study harder or do you study smarter? Do you live harder or do you live smarter? That's what this is. Okay, so change your attitude. Go do a 10-minute meditation and then get back to me. Your feeling is just a feeling, and it passes so quickly. What made you choose Shanghai as a home base? I wonder if you'd like the NYC scene. I like my friends in New York, but I don't really like New York as a city. It's so dirty there. I love Shanghai because I'm ethnically Chinese. I can just exist here and people don't, like, ask me where I'm from. I like feeling connected to China on a personal level, on a professional level. The standard of living and the convenience here is great. We can't help the thought distortions. We can learn to recognize them and reframe. I would look up psych term reframing. Thank you, Denise. Guys, Shanghai is the best. It's the future. I remember the first time I went to New York in 2018, I literally, like, wanted to puke because there was trash all over the street. Like, I'm sorry. I've lived a very privileged life growing up in the middle of buttfuck nowhere in Australia. There's not enough people for there to be trash on the street like that. And then I come to Shanghai. There's 26 million people live in this city, but it's still, like, pretty clean considering it's, like, an international major city. So everyone says Shanghai is the best city. I'm totally inclined to believe it. It is the best city! Public transportation, cheap. It's so safe, like, especially as a woman. You get the benefits of living in a big city without the risk of, like, getting mugged on the street, okay? Like, it's so safe here. I ride at all hours of the day. They have share bikes everywhere. I can ride home from the club 5 a.m. if I still have the energy. Drugs are, like, super illegal here now. So, I don't know, some people, like, aren't into that. But for me, I work in nightlife and I'm not a druggie. So, no drugs is fine for me. There is, like, such a wide range of experience available to you depending on how much money you have, okay? Because you can buy food on the side of the street for literally, like, close to nothing. You can have $6,000, $60,000 meals if you want, okay? A lot of people can live, like, close to central areas because, like, within each area there's, like, different ranges of rental price, okay? So you could live in a central area on a low budget, but obviously, like, your standard of living or the size of your apartment is going to be smaller, or you can move out of the city and live in a bigger space for cheaper, or you can live with other people and save even more money. Like, I think most of my friends between their 20s and 30s, like, we all live within 20 minutes of, like, the main areas that we spend our time in. And I think that's, like, very rare for most people living in big cities. And you can live alone, okay? It's so convenient, the level of efficiency for everything. If I wanted groceries now, I could have them delivered to my house in 20 minutes. Like, sometimes it's cheaper for me to order a coffee to my apartment than to go outside and get it myself. I love Shanghai. Like, I don't even want to go. I don't want to travel anymore because I just want to stay here. Like, I've invested so much money into having, like, a space and a home that I enjoy being in because I work from home as well. And for me, like, everywhere is less convenient than here. So, like, why would I spend money to go somewhere and then lower my quality of life, okay? So unless I'm traveling for work, I'm not that interested in traveling outside of China. But I am going back to Australia in January, I think. Am I wrong for not wanting to be friends with women who talk about men and their horrible boyfriends nonstop? No. I used to think that decentering men, it's like you just don't like the same type of cuisine or something. But when you actually decenter men, you are fundamentally at odds with women that have still centered men in their life. It's almost impossible to have a conversation with them because everything is like, your whole worldview changes when you decenter men and you center living your best life on your terms, okay? A lot of people are just like all smoke. And they say that they hate men, or they say that they've decentered men, but they haven't. And I think that, if anything, women that hate men are even more desperate for male attention. Like, their hatred comes from feeling like they don't get the attention that they want from men, and not like a distaste for just like the male species in general. So you're not wrong. Just don't engage in those conversations with them. And then if those are the only types of conversations that you're having, you just have to recognize that maybe you're not going to be friends for as long as you thought you were going to be. Torn between being a city girl and a country girl. I'm really lucky because I grew up in Perth, so when I go back there, it's like going back to a country town. And then I choose to live in Shanghai. I live in Shanghai, China. I always say that at parties, men are talking about business and women are talking about men. Tea. Yeah, or men are talking about which women they want to fuck over. You never lose when you center yourself, okay? You never lose when you decenter men. There's this like weird thing that like, oh, if you don't center men, then men won't like you. You are more attractive to men when you don't give a fuck about them, okay? And the ones that don't like you for not centering them are not worth knowing anyway. They have nothing to offer you because they need you to center them in order for them to have value to you, okay? And when you don't center them, you realize that they add nothing to your life and you don't care about them. So you have nothing to lose. You are more valuable to men when you decenter them because you have something to offer that is not just a mirror of their own conditioning or their own expectations, okay? And men that have something to offer you are looking for that in their life, okay? Whether that is professional, personal, platonic, or romantic, okay? So you lose nothing. The only thing that you lose is the potential for your time to be wasted by fucking losers, okay? Sagittarius season has you fired up, girl queen, exactly. It is my season after all. My birthday is in less than a month. Crazy how being offline totally shapes one's personality and values, especially centering men. Kansas, Missouri, didn't know you weren't from the US. I am not from America. I grew up in Australia. No, you have nothing to lose when you decenter men, okay? And everything to gain. It doesn't mean that there aren't times where you're delusional and maybe you want to entertain some clownery or whatever, but it's like, wow, the vision is clear, okay? And then I look at some of my friends who are still so male-centered. It's actually like depressing to talk to them. Like I can't even, like, even if we're not talking about boys, I'm like, the way that you relate to men shows me how you relate to yourself and then puts into question how you relate to your whole reality. It's like scary. The main goal of life should be to self-actualize, I feel. I agree. That's always how I felt. Upset over Dusties for what? Exactly. Don't piss me off. It's just human nature to chase conflict. That's why I think some women chase guys. But you could chase conflict that actually gets you paid. What are men in Shanghai like? Mostly pussies. The women, the girls and the gays slay too hard here, you know? I think it's hard for straight men. I don't think the energy in Shanghai is like conducive to straight men being able to slay. It's for girls, okay? Maybe if you go to the north of China, where like the energy is a bit more straight, that's better. You could chase conflict that challenges your self-growth, exactly. It's just conditioning that women think that, they should care about what men think. It's tragic. 12:24 p.m. How do I get these glasses to sit straight? But also because I'm in the creative industry, so I feel like I have a very niche. I have exposure to a very specific niche of men. I think a lot of the girls here can be delusional about like what is actually attractive in a man, because like the girls and even the gays sometimes around me, they'll be like, oh yeah, that guy's kind of hot. Like a straight male DJ dressed in a cap, a baggy t-shirt, Adidas 3-stripe shorts. That's hot to you? I just don't understand. It's so easy to be a man. Are they intimidated by the women absolutely slaying? Probably. I mean, that's just like a male thing in general. I'm screaming because they're nightmen. No, literally. Like, men that don't even speak are getting action. Yeah, there was that study that was like most men don't even want to be in the same room as a woman that out-earns them. Oh my God. This is AI? I need this. I got ghosted after this guy pursued me for 2 months. Enjoy men while they're on their best behavior and then keep it moving, okay? He can't keep up with you. It's my birthday tomorrow. I'm doing absolutely nothing. It's 38 degrees tomorrow. It's way too hot. Oh my God, happy birthday! Sagittarius. Slay. He said the election overwhelmed him. All right. I don't know what to say, guys. But I heard there's lots of hot men in New York. They're hot, but they have too many options because there's too many hot girls. Like, that's also the thing in Shanghai. There's too many hot girls, and a lot of girls still have very male-centered worldviews, so they lower their standards for average men. So average men have a superiority complex. They think they're hot shit because they can get hot girls, because hot girls will lower their standards for losers because they care about male attention. So if you're a woman that has self-respect, it's going to be hard for you to find a man in this city, which doesn't bother me at all. Stay away from me, guys. And I hope your ass ain't lying. That just made my whole experience make sense. Please elaborate. I think most successful men are DL. Whether they're aware of it or not. Yeah, just because a woman is successful, like on a societal standard, doesn't mean she's like spiritually successful. You know what I mean? She's not yet reached spiritual, mental freedom. She's in chains, okay? You could be rich and an idiot. Like in China, there's that example of Qing Haiyang, the Olympic swimmer, and his sugar mama. She's rich as fuck, and she's funding his lifestyle and his career, and he's cheating on her the whole time. She didn't have to do all that. You know, a lot of really successful women in big cities have the most atrocious dating history, okay? Because we don't live in a world where it's like there's a guideline for successful women and how to navigate dating, because that is still a very new thing. How do you feel about boyfriends still watching porn? I honestly don't really know how I feel about that. I mean, there are men that don't watch as much porn, I want to believe, but I don't know. My boyfriend told me he stopped, but recently confessed he still watches. Well, how do you feel about it? That's the real question. You obviously don't like it. I told him I'm upset, but he's not really taking me seriously. Well, if he's addicted, it's not easy to just quit, you know? That's the thing. Like, not being able to stop indicates an addiction, and that's not something that he can get rid of overnight. So you either accept him as he is, or you need to break up with him if you want better for yourself. He says he feels bad when he washes it. It doesn't make a difference because he's still doing it. And he's not doing anything, or he's not trying hard enough to not do it. So for me, I don't know, I would just be like, look, I don't want to date a guy that regularly watches porn. So I think it's best that we break up. Once you get your porn addiction under control, you can hit me up. But I'm not going to sit here and watch you do this because it's disrespectful. Friends getting in relationships, getting distance. Honestly, most of my friends are single. I recently caught up with one of my friends who lives in a different city, and she's basically been absorbed into a man. I'm happy for her, she's happy, but like, I have other friends, so it's fine. We don't have much in common anymore. How do you deal with friends that are using your political views to interfere with opportunities for you? What do you mean? Example, please. Guys, I just want a pink house, okay? I don't want a boyfriend, I want a pink house. I don't know why anyone wants a boyfriend when you could want a pink house. Example, going to the president of other clubs and exposing your political views to influence their application. Clubs? Like at university? Yeah, that's not a friend, that's an op. Just ignore them. Ignore them. It's okay, it's just university. University will end. Ignore them. Keep living your best life. Put your best foot forward. Build your own relationships with people that you're more aligned with, and they can just stay mad, basically. Like, I've had people try to do that to me, like in my actual life, with my actual work, and they have not succeeded. So, sucks to be them. That sucks, but it's also an opportunity for you to develop resilience around your self-determination and what you believe in, and letting that speak for itself, okay? It's unfortunate and it's annoying as fuck, but they can't relate, okay? If you can keep your head high and do what you want to do what you need to do, you're going to be built different when you come out the other end, and they're going to be the same motherfucking losers, okay? Realizing that even in queer friendships, people center romance and use friends as placeholders. Yeah. People just need to get a life, honestly. You know what I mean? I don't really identify as anything because I feel like labels are not helpful. And like, I don't think women are supposed to really like men anyway. I think heterosexuality is fake. Yeah. Most men are not to be liked by women. Period. There's too many of them. It goes against nature. It doesn't make any sense. Okay? People should want to evolve. That's like your instinct as a living thing, to evolve, okay? And yet, most of the time when women get involved with men, they devolve. You regress. So it's against nature for women to be dealing with men on a regular basis, the way that they do, okay? Deal with men that add value to your life, and then the ones that are setting you back, get out. Men want to talk about nature this, nature that. Well, most females in nature, in the animal kingdom, kill off men, okay? Kill off the males or run from the males. Very selective about which males they engage with. Humans are the exception. So, we're stupid. We're dumb. And once we reconcile with that, we are free, you know? You're not supposed to like men, so don't force yourself to. Be free. Yeah, men love talking about nature this, nature that. Oh, men are visual creatures. Why don't you look in the mirror then? Okay? You're a visual creature until you gotta look in the mirror. The fuck? That's dumb. Thank you for the present. I like a man right now. He's gay as fuck. I really like gay men, right? What does that say? As soon as the guy that is queer baiting you find out is straight, you're like, ugh, yes, I painted this. La, la, la. This is my other painting. It's just a blank canvas right now. I haven't had time to work on it. Appreciate all you share. Would love to see your other pieces if you felt comfy. You DJing and painting would be divine live to watch. Okay, let's do it, guys. I need to get another set of speakers. My DJ equipment is there underneath the velvet cover, but I plan to get another set of speakers on that side of the room. I just haven't gotten around to it. Attention, I've heard of the concept for so long, only recently understood the meaning of that journey. Right? Sometimes it just takes time. What's something like Love is Blind? That took me so long to understand. Because I just thought Love is Blind is like, oh, Love is Blind, like you can date an ugly guy. But Love is Blind is like, oh, you'll be so consumed by lust and desire that you'll just miss red flags completely. What other content do we want to see from me? Please let me know. Right now. Okay, I had an idea for a song yesterday, so I'm gonna start it. It's a meme song. Consumerism and capitalism. Okay, yeah, we can do that. I have a lot of thoughts. But all of my thoughts are just like off the dome. Not really structured. Not really like cross-referenced. I cross-reference things in my head. Meditation. Okay, I have a YouTube video that I need to edit about hot girl habits for crazy bitches. I think that's going to be the title. Because I think that like the way that people talk, this is just my impression, the way that people talk about like spirituality and meditation, it's too esoteric. It's like, oh, you don't think, or you're trying to reach some kind of like spiritual enlightenment or whatever. But like, honestly, I don't think enlightenment is for everyone, including me. Because when you're like truly in a state of enlightenment, you basically like don't even want to participate in society, and you like lose all connection from the material world. Which is fine. Like, it's mostly a temporary state for most people. But I'm still a material girl in a material world, and I am not interested in like not giving a fuck about anything or being like totally detached. A little attachment here and there never hurt nobody. You just have to be intentional. So for me, meditation is, I think of it, or when I communicate about meditation, I try to make it seem more like a habit, more like an exercise than like a spiritual practice, you know? Enlightenment isn't for everyone, including me, is a bar. I'm just saying. How many people do you know are actually enlightened? Okay, including the people that say they're actively working towards it. They're usually spiritually bypassing, which is when your like spiritual practice starts to like infiltrate your ego, and then you think you're better than everyone because you're on a spiritual journey. Like, but yeah, I think it's like when you talk about going from negative self-talk to positive self-talk. You can't just jump from one to the other the way that you can't jump from like a low vibrational existence to enlightenment, you know? Like, you come to that kind of practice because there's some area of your life that you want to improve. So the idea that you meditate for the purposes of enlightenment is like kind of stupid, in my opinion. Like, you should start meditating. It would be more realistic to start meditating for like mental stability. You know what I mean? Like, mental stability is actually my goal, not enlightenment. Mental stability so that I can live my best life and have fun and suffer less. That's my goal when it comes to practices like meditation, not enlightenment. Because what the fuck is that? So those are my thoughts. I will probably do another separate video just on meditation itself, because like in my Hot Girl Habits video, I talk about meditation, journaling, scripting, and like physical activity. Guys, I'm really sorry to tell you, but like exercise is kind of important. And that's coming from someone who has never self-identified as someone that enjoys exercise, okay? I don't self-identify as an active person, but if you have known me in the last like 3 or 4 years, you would assume that I'm like very athletic or like into that kind of thing. But I spent most of my life self-identifying as a sloth than as someone that enjoys physical activity. But the endorphins is kind of great, guys. So you just have to find the type of exercise that you enjoy. And that could be going for a hot girl walk. It could be yoga. It could be Pilates. It could be Muay Thai. It could be running. That could never be me. I would fucking hate running. When I started getting 8 hours of sleep, eating and drinking food, I started feeling better. Shocking. Exactly. 8 hours of sleep. That's my next goal. I'm hoping by the end of 2025, my lifestyle will have shifted away from me going to bed at 3 a.m. on a regular basis. You know what I mean? That's what we're looking for, guys. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but I think that's what we're going for. All of these practices are free 99. Meditation, journaling, even exercise, you don't have to spend money to do. And I think that at the beginning, doing it at the lowest possible cost is going to bring you the most reward, because you'll realize how important it's about your mental discipline and not how much money you spend, right? So meditation is like 10 minutes a day. It costs your time. And you could argue as much as you like about how much time you do and don't have, but at 10 minutes, I think most of us can afford to spare. That's 10 less minutes on social media. 10 less minutes looking in the mirror. 10 less minutes entertaining some loser. So there's that. Journaling, you can use the cheapest notebook you can find and a pen. And exercise, you can do YouTube workouts or go for a walk or go to the park or go to a community yoga class. So yeah, mental discipline, not about how much money you spend. Also, capitalism / consumerism is selling you the illusion of being able to buy a shortcut to discipline, okay? Like, if you buy this product, you'll be empowered. If you do use this service, you'll lose weight faster than some other service, or you'll feel better about yourself than some other thing. But that's not really how it works. Like, that's just like the icing on top, maybe, but it's not even the icing on top. It's like the icing sugar dusting. You don't even need it. So it's like the box that a cake may or may not come in. What the box looks like, how much money you spend on the box. What matters is the cake. So, yeah, you know, like, oh, if you buy this lipstick, you'll be empowered as a woman. It's not really how life works, guys. You'll buy this lipstick to look pretty for a man, and then you'll be empowered. Or spending this much money at this gym is going to give you better life outcomes. Also not necessarily the case, okay? Plenty of pick-me's. Go to the gym. Plenty of pick-me's at Pilates as well. So, discipline is of the mind, not of the wallet. People that are economically or socially mobile from a lower income level or socioeconomic status to a higher one, they don't do it by spending more money, okay? They do it by changing their mindset and being disciplined. I'm making a song. Yeah, it is. That's why I haven't released any music, because I can't decide if what I make is good or not. So it's a work in progress. But I recommend doing like short courses on it if you find it daunting to totally self-learn. But yeah, you just kind of have to keep doing it, unfortunately. And try to have fun with it, you know. When I set too many expectations for myself, that's when I hate it. But when I just do shit like this and make stuff for fun, it's like much better. care. I'm going to make lunch. Ciao, everyone. Thanks for joining.